Let's talk about Aiden Markram, guys. Is he key to South Africa's future? Is he key to South Africa's success? That is something that we really want to talk about today. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit late to today's show. I was having connectivity issues because of load shedding. So it took me some time to get on and to get connected because my Wi Fi connection wasn't working. So I had to reset everything. So I'm sorry that I'm a little bit late. So we're going to be chatting about Aiden Markram. Obviously, Aiden is the front cover of the magazine, and we thought that it would be the perfect time for us to chat about Aiden and speak about him and why he's important to South African cricket. And we're going to cover some of the things that he had to say in my interview and what Aditya had to say about him in the article for the cover story of the magazine. And we're going to openly discuss what he means to South African cricket and the future of South African cricket. But before we get going, don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. The new issue is available now 100% free. Every single back issue as well, straight to your inbox. Go ahead and get your free download right away by clicking on the link in the description. If you're new to this channel, click subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos as well. So without further ado, smash that like button, comment, share this video with all your friends and family, comment in the comment section, get involved in the live chat. Let's get straight into today's video. Good evening, guys. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Aiden Markram. This is my co-host, Aditya. And today we'll be discussing whether Aiden Markram is key to South Africa's future. And I think that's an excellent title to start with, seeing that our issue of the magazine was all about Aiden Markram. And it was all about how Aiden Markram has taken significant strides in his career so far, particularly in white ball cricket. What I feel is that his white ball form currently in the T20 arena has really bought him some time with regards to the pressure that he was getting from the entire South African public. Not every single person, of course, not all Proteas fans were on his back, but some were. And particularly after the Indian series, he got a lot of flack on not being able to play spin, and people really got involved in that conversation, saying that Aiden shouldn't be in the side that was in Test cricket after he had a very successful India tour, a very successful Bangladesh tour, a very successful Australian tour. He had a first good game against England, and then after that, it's been a struggle for him. India was a struggle for him, Sri Lanka was a struggle for him, but then he turned things around in Pakistan. And after he had a conversation with us, you remember that with Aditya, the first interview that we did together with Aiden, he gave us some insight into that. He gave us some insight into how he's changing things. Now, the reason I think that Aiden will be key to our future is because I feel that he's a future leader. Me personally, I thought he should be made captain immediately. I thought that he should have been captain before Temba Bavuma was captain. But then I understood the Temba appointment because of Aiden's form. Now, Aiden has really started to find his stride in white ball cricket. And we'll have an opportunity again to see it against India, whether he can continue his form that he had in the test arena. Because I hope that it doesn't affect the way he approaches his test game. I hope that he can switch that off and really focus on being the player that he is in test cricket, because I feel that they're very different players. The test cricket Aiden normally does take his time at the crease, knows how to survive there, and then score big later on. And he can score quite quickly and get on top of you quite quickly. So there is some connection with regards to his white ball form and his test arena form. It's his ODI form that we are obviously worried about. And I think that's where people are worried about. I think he needs to replicate what he's doing in T20 cricket in his ODI game. So I think if he can be that destructive in the middle order as he is in T20 cricket, he can really be an excellent player. So, what is your thoughts on this particular point, Aditya? Do you agree with me that Aiden can be one that a key to the future? We've got Fern also joining with us now.
Absolutely. Um, Aiden is 100% one of the first names on the sheet in every format, uh, because he's a versatile player, and at some stage, you have to look in the Test and T20 formats. He's obviously proven his worth, and we know what he's capable of. Sometimes you just have to persist a little more in the ODI format because it's clearly mental, right? Like Aiden knows how to hit a ball. He knows what a cover drive is, what a straight drive is. He can hit pull shots for sixes and so on. So it's just a matter of execution, when, where, and how in the ODI format. But I think Aiden's USP for the South African T20 team is that he can he can hit the ball as soon as he arrives on the crease. He can hang on a bit if he needs to. He can run hard between the wickets, and he's generally a good reader of the game. So that's very valuable to South African cricket, particularly when we look at the conversation around the number of anchors in the South African team. Aiden is uh, Aiden is that X factor that the team needs. So he's undoubtedly key to South Africa's success in T20 cricket. I have no doubt he's going to prove himself in the ODI format as well. You never know. In 5 games, he may score 300s very, very soon. And in Test cricket, obviously, he's great. So I think the key to Aiden's success, in my view, is the fact that uh, he understands his game. He has um, he has that thirst to get better, and he has those conversations about role clarity. As he mentioned in that interview, he talked to Boucher a lot, he talked to Temba a lot about what is expected of him, and he appreciates that consistency and delivers in spades.
Yeah, the thing that I admire about him is the fact that, from what I've picked up from him, from conversations that I've had with him, and seeing him in action in the nets as well, he tends to be someone that is always seeking to improve his game, and it doesn't matter how good of in form he is or how much form he has. Or I'm trying to phrase it correctly, but you'll always look for improvement and asking, where can I improve, where can I get better, what can I do to improve. It's never I've made it with Aiden. He never thinks like that in my eyes. Like, no matter what achievements no matter what achievements he gets through. For example, he was on an incredible run in domestic cricket, and I had a conversation with him then, and every single time it was just on the next goal. What's the next way I can improve? What's the next way I can get better? Even though he was completely like taking attacks apart in domestic scene. It's something that I really appreciate of him, and then the reason why out of all the younger guys that I think of, and I know Aiden's not as young as he used to be. Of course, he's not. He's middle age now, middle 20s now, getting towards the end of his like 30s, to closer to his 30s. So he's not necessarily the young Aiden Markram that we saw coming into the setup early on. Of course not, but he's one of the guys that we can rely on in all formats. So I like to have one or two at least, or three players at least. There must be minimum three players in your team, I feel, that play all three formats for South Africa, so that this is a common core within the team. Now, South Africa do have more. We've got more players that do that. We've got a nice, strong core of players that play all three formats, which is really nice to have. And Aiden's a part of that now. Werner, where do you see Aiden in this jigsaw puzzle of taking it to the next step? We've got a World Cup every year now, so it's or ICC event every year now.
Yeah, it's hectic. It really is, but exciting for us as fans. Bit more hectic for the players themselves. I think they're going to have to find a balance. The selectors are going to have to find a balance as well, and make sure that, I mean, every player can't play every game all year in and out. It's just not going to work. Especially the pace bowlers. I think people like Rabada and Norkia can't be playing every match, every series, the whole year out. They'll just get burned out. We've seen that with Rabada a lot. In any case, that if he's overworked, he just doesn't have that same kind of venom. But as far as Aiden, um, if he does watch this show, he might consider not coming back if we're calling him middle aged. Uh, so
I'm
be
in the
careful.
middle. I was mid middle of 20s.
I'm just pulling your leg. No, no, I'm very excited to see how his journey will continue. As you said, he really is a hard worker. He likes to continue growing his game throughout. Even now, taking some tips from Shamsi and Kesh and Bjorn about his bowling, which is impressive. Obviously, realizing that he needs to contribute a bit with the ball as well when necessary, because our batting lineup will be too short if we pick five out and out bowlers, and with our middle order still being a bit shaky here and there, not having quite that firepower, we need the extra batsman. So that's a good thing to look at. Yeah, so I also see him as a leader going forward. Definitely, I can picture him leading us at the 2027 World Cup in South Africa, definitely. Um, the way he's going, I'm sure he'll turn his ODI form around as well. I think he might settle into the middle order role, in my opinion. Even though he is an opener, and I would prefer him opening, I think they might stick with Quinny and Yanaman for now, because Yanaman has been doing
Yeah.
excellently anytime he's gotten an opportunity. I can't see them shifting Quinny anywhere else unless he really goes off form and they decide to drop him entirely and bring in a different wicketkeeper batsman. Maybe then Markram will go up and open with Malan, but I can't see that happening soon. So he'll probably slot somewhere into the middle order. But it is going to be another difficult balancing act, because you have Temba leading and you have Rassi, who's also exceptional. So that would mean Markram coming in somewhere around five and shifting Miller to six, and both still seem too low. Same kind of issue I had with the T20 um, format. If Bavuma didn't like he did shift down below Markram against England, it just the balance doesn't quite seem right. So it'll be interesting to see how they balance it, because I do feel Markram needs to be there. He has the talent. I know he hasn't performed in the ODI format just yet, but we can all see what he has. There's no doubt that he'll come good some way or another. He'll come through. We've seen him doing it at the Titans 50 over matches. I remember going to Supersport Park, watching him smashing the Warriors all over the place. That game where him and Henry Davids made a massive opening
Hmm.
partnership, and Morris came in at the end. They made over 400 or something. I was at that game, watching him smoking it all over the place, thinking, man, he really needs to be playing all formats. And so I still feel the same way. And now, especially now that he has performed that well in the T20s, I can't see him not translating that to the ODIs. He'll find a way. He'll find something will click, and he'll get the right tempo that he needs to go out.
Yeah.
Realize that he doesn't have to smash every ball to the boundary. There's a lot more time in 50 overs than some people realize. 50 overs is actually a long game. I think that we've gotten so used to T20s, we just expect every ball to be smashed to the boundary, but it's not like that in T20s. In ODIs. In ODIs, there is definitely still room for building an innings, taking your time to get in.
Yeah.
Some players will be quicker at that. Someone like AB would maybe take 10 balls and then start going quickly, but not everybody is like that. And there is enough room to build your team and build your innings. So I think probably at this stage the ODI format suits us best with the kind of players we have. Someone like Temba, Rassi, Markram, Malan, they all fit in perfectly into the ODI format. So I think that's something to look forward to. I kind of look forward to the 2023 World Cup. I think we have the type of players that could perform well there.
Yeah, and also I feel that our confidence against spin, Aditya, you probably agree with me over there, that our confidence against spin has increased so much over the last year and the last couple of years. So that I think was also done Aiden well, because it's one thing learning how to play against spin, but actually doing it in matches and consistently in matches. Now he's done it against Sri Lanka, in Pakistan, and then in the World Cup as well. He's done it. So West Indies as well. He played well. So like that's the thing about it is it's about yes learning the skills, but then also about application in the actual games. So yeah, you wanted to say something, Aditya, before I get into the
Yeah,
chat?
two things. One thing is about this spin, as you said. There has been some improvement um, against spin and in the subcontinent. I thought despite the series result not going South Africa's way, there were some clear signs that the batters had gotten better at playing spin. But it also reminds me of something Rahul Dravid used to say about his early days. playing on rank turners, where he would play bowlers like Anil Kumble, for example, without pads on, which would force you to play with your bat. And it's the same advice that Dravid gave Kevin Peterson when he was struggling against left arm spin. So I hope someone from the team is watching, because that advice still holds true today. Uh, but in talking about Aiden Markram, the batsman and potential leader, we can't forget the contribution of Aiden Markram, the fielder. He is electric in the outfield, and he's slowly moving up the ladder, and is almost close to joining, that AB de Villiers and Faf du Plessis kind of fielding. He's been brilliant in the T20 tournament, and he's got the safest pair of hands. So we must commend Aiden Markram, the fielder, as well.
Becoming
Do
a
you
proper
remember
all-rounder.
Do you remember that catch he took against India, that series he captained in the area in the pink day
That
game?
one,
Got
the one, the one-handed
that 100
catch.
over. Yeah,
Yes.
I was sitting. I just remember where in the stands I was sitting, and the ball traveled
Yeah.
so quickly, and I like, whoa, that's a good shot. And the next moment, Markram had plucked it out of the air, and I'm like, whoa.
It was
He's a
incredible.
cover.
Okay, he might
He's
not
a
be
cover.
going well as captain, and the series might not be going well for him, and it's not really his fault. He was shoved in it too early, but that really showed something.
But that was the game they won, no? That was the only game they won. in
Yeah, that
series.
was
Yeah.
only. I was sitting there thinking, man, thank goodness
was
I
there
chose
too.
the right game to go and watch. It started
Yeah,
raining. I'm like,
underclass game for
no,
the
we can
party.
win this game. It should stop raining
Underclass
now.
in Peklequayo, actually. Underclass
Yes.
in
Yeah,
Peklequayo.
Yes.
Yeah, AB got like a quick 20, and then Peklequayo came in and he got a quick 20 odd. And I was sitting right in the middle of like a whole crowd of Indian supporters. And I was like
But-
standing up, yes! And they were looking at me like that. Hey, your turn will come again. This is our day.
Yeah.
Faf had scored 120 in that first game in Durban, I think. And then he broke his finger. Right? That was a
Yeah, we
second
lost a
finger
bunch of
injury.
important players in that
lots of
series.
players, yeah. We lost.
Yeah.
And then I remember Aiden coming to the. I was like, I remember very clearly when Aiden came into the press conference for his first presser. I was like, oh no, they're going to announce him as captain. They're going to announce him as captain. So, like, I was excited to a degree, but then also I was like, this is the wrong decision to do this now against this particular batting lineup. This is
To
also
give
the
it
same
against
series.
India while we had all those injury
Correct.
and stuff. They gave him a weaker team to go against the best team. It was a lose-lose situation.
And I'll never
I think
forget that
it's-
last presser. Oh
Yeah.
my lord! Or I think it was the last or the second last presser when
Yeah.
when Dale Benkenstein came out and he spoke about how we don't have a problem against spin. I was like, whoa! I was like, what? Because I asked the question in the presser, so I was like, what is our problem against spin? Like, why do we struggle? I don't think we have a problem against spin. I think it's about assessing we didn't have enough footage of things to prepare for the spinners that were spinning. So Kuldeep and Chahal, because they said they didn't have an opportunity to see them bowl enough. Not a lot of these players played against them, so they don't know how to play. They had, I think it was Justin Ontang throwing deliveries from that trajectory to get that movement on the ball and stuff. That's the only way they would. I was like, don't talk nonsense to me, please, man. There's a problem against spin. We know, everybody knows that.
I think Virat Kohli scored over 500 runs in 6 games in that series.
I
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, that's what I mean. I remember he was brilliant. I remember he
3 or
was
4
brilliant.
hundreds. Yeah.
But yeah, there was also, I think there was an incident in the crowd. Was it the same one with Imran Tahir? Or was it the series after that? It might have been the series after that. There was a incident with Imran. Imran went into the crowd because this guy was like being like very rude to him and he shouting insults at him. And so he went into the crowd. He's like, if you want to say that to me. And the security had to come, and it's all big thing. Anyway, let's move on from that. When will Deerwold make his debut? Well, if for me personally, Deerwold first needs to play some domestic cricket. He hasn't even played domestic cricket. He has a World Cup now to prepare for and focus on under 19 level. I don't think I know people use Sachin Tendulkar a lot as a reference, but Sachin played a lot of cricket before he actually got his debut. Is it not, Aditya? You will have more insight on that. So I feel our youngsters need to first play some cricket. They need to get some experience playing cricket in domestic scene, because the domestic scene is not as easy as you look at. I've seen Kolpak guys come back, certain Kolpak guys come back, certain guys that have played in England come back and struggle. They haven't been hitting the ground running, scoring double centuries or taking fifers all the time. So it's not like it's the easiest league in the world to play domestic cricket. The competition is quite tough here, and the pitches as well will teach you lessons. So I think we need to see Deovat play some T20 cricket for Northerns, and to play some 4-day cricket for the Titans, etc. And let's see where he goes from there, and then we can give him an opportunity. I think pushing him into the team right now might not be the right decision. It could completely destroy his career.
And you have to look at the fact that the frequency of cricket is a lot more now than it was when
Yeah.
Sachin was playing. So they want Brevis. He needs to get his body right. His body needs to mature, because we've seen what happened with Pat Cummins. He made his debut in 2011 in that series against South Africa, but then he couldn't really nail down a spot for the next 5 or 6 years because his body simply couldn't handle the rigors of cricket. So we don't want that happening with Daywalt. So
Yeah,
let him take his time and develop
Yeah.
at his own pace.
It's the same like a guy like Reiner van Tonde. Everybody was like, put him in, put him in, put him in. I'm like, guys, like he's played 1 season, 2 seasons in domestic cricket. Like he scored only in Bloemfontein. Let him get the opportunity to play in Durban and in Newlands and put some runs on the board before you just throw him to the dogs and tell him go face flipping Ashwin and all of these guys. And what you like? He must first face Harbour here in South Africa, or he must face first Van Berg here, who's taking fifers at Boland Park. He first needs to face those guys in different conditions to what he's used to, and before you just throw him into the, like, I feel that they did that to Zubair. They threw him into the like, you're gonna be Amla's replacement. Here you go for it. Then he did well in the first two series he played, and then first series they kept him in. Like, I mean, they kept him at 3 against the best bowling unit, one of the best seam attacks in the world. Like, you had in conditions that are going to suit them. Like, it's not the easiest to face Broad and Mark Wood and all of those dudes, and Anderson. Like, it's a tough task to bat at 3, especially when your openers aren't doing their job. So you lose one of your openers early, and Zubair's coming in essentially as an opener in every single game that he played. Like, I thought that it was a bit unfair, because after that they just chucked him. Maybe there's some technical things that they saw there from him with regards to the short ball. Maybe, I don't know. We have to wait and see how he does in 4-day cricket. I think he needs to maybe get some runs going forward. But yeah, you can't just throw people in just because, you score 1 or 2 good centuries, or you score a couple of good runs. Okay, throw them into international setups. It's not how it works. You need to actually go ahead and earn some reputation first.
It's like people on social media, they see one post about Jason Niemann scoring a 300 in domestic cricket, but they don't see that it's not even a first class game playing against a team that doesn't have bowlers that are going to really, really challenge him. And then they're like, okay, no, he needs to play for the Proteas. Get him into the side. Like, calm down. Watch, get the whole context of it. Like Devil Brevis. Obviously, we can all see he has a lot of talent, but let's see how he goes in the Under-19 World Cup, and then come back to the Titans. Let's see how he does there. He'll get his opportunities in time.
There's a question from Destroyer. He says Riza shouldn't be opening with Janneman in the Netherlands series. How about giving Ryan Rickleton a chance? I would love to see Ryan Rickleton get a chance. He's been on a couple of tours now and he hasn't really gotten an opportunity. So I would really like to see him get a chance, actually. Although Kyle Verreynolds will be the wicket keeper, he's still good enough as a batter. The same with Kyle. Kyle's good enough as a batter to get in the side alone. I don't think the wicket keeping thing should be the criteria to get him selected. He's a good enough batter to get in the team on merit alone.
As long as Boucher doesn't begin talking again about the backup wicketkeeper, and that's the reason why someone's not playing.
No. I don't like that. Okay, so let's get into more. Let's look for some more. Is this the Werner that I follow on Twitter? I don't know.
I don't know either. There's more than one in South Africa, especially. So
Yeah.
I know in Germany there's a lot of people whose surnames are Werner. So
Yeah,
so
of
I
course.
don't know.
Yeah, we know about one, Timo.
Yeah,
Timo.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, again, we've got, I think, Rossouw must play both ODI and T20s. Rossouw can replace Pavuma, and the team balance will be so much better. While Pavuma is needed when you have Yanaman and Rassi in the ODIs. So, the thing about Rossouw for me, I was a huge fan of Rilee Rossouw. Like, I asked for a selfie with him in a presser once, like at my first ever presser. Like, I didn't know that that wasn't the protocol. I was very young still. And I asked him for, and he gave me a selfie. So it's useful too. But ultimately, Riley was looked at as the next generational talent that we had. Like, he was backed. I remember him going on 3 ducks in a row or something like that, and they still stuck with him in that team. Batting at 4, they were seeing him as that AB de Villiers future replacement. Nobody saw the Colpack deal coming. With Kyle Abbott, there were murmurs. We knew that Kyle was coming, getting older, and Lungi was coming through the system, and we had KG, and that was on the peak of his career. Dale Steyn was still playing at the time. When Kyle went to sign the Colpack deal, he had good reason too. He's and this is my point. The approach. It's all about approach for me. So when Kyle Abbott wanted to sign a Colpack, he spoke to the team, he spoke to Amla, for example, he spoke to the coach. He told them about the decision he wants to make. He said, "This is my vision. Do you think I'm making the right decision here, or should I stay?" And they gave him clarity, and they said, "Look here, they understand why he's doing that. They don't want him to leave, but they understand his reasons." The same day that Kyle Abbott, within that same series, Russell Domingo came to a presser and said, "Well, Riley is the one that they worried about because they didn't know he was going to sign a contract. There was no conversation with players, with the coaches, nothing. He just got an email, and Riley has spelled his name wrong apparently, and in the email, and that's how he got notified, and that's how the rest of the people got notified that he was signing a Colpack deal. And it baffled a lot of people because he was given opportunities. It wasn't like he wasn't given opportunities. Now he's back in the domestic system, obviously because Colpack deals are now null and void. You have to be obviously an overseas player. I don't know. He might have been there long enough to be able to be a citizen. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember when he signed the Colpack deal. I think it was 2016. Um, so the end of 2016, maybe 2017. So I don't think it's been long enough for him to be able to call himself an English citizen. I'm not 100% sure how that works. But to just throw him back into the ODI setup, like I felt that they did the same thing with Wayne Parnell, which I think was a bit unfair. There are other guys that they could have selected instead of them that have worked hard in the domestic scene, that have put up their hand to play for South Africa, that maybe should have get picked over him. The same way I feel about Riley. But if they're going to do that with Wayne, then why not give Riley the a chance? Werner, what's your thoughts on Riley?
Yeah, I agree with that last statement. I think I said something similar. If you're going to pick Wayne, then why not pick Riley, or why not pick Duan Olivier in the SAA team? If you're going to pick Colpack players, or players that left, if they are still good enough, like those two clearly are. We've seen Rilee Rossouw dominate in the T20 knockout competition. We've seen Duan Olivier hit the ground running in the 4-day series. He's picked up another four thirds a day. So it's strange that you would go the way of picking Parnell, who had a good T20 knockout, but more with the bat than the ball. He didn't pick up a lot of wickets. He captained well and he batted well, but he didn't pick up a lot of wickets. So the question is, what role is he going to play in the ODI squad? Is he there as mainly a bowler who can give you a bit of runs, or are they going to play him as like the middle order hitter who can bowl you some overs? Because I don't know, if is he still the guy who's going to run up, bowl 10 overs, going to come in with the new ball, try and swing it around, or is he a different bowler these days? Because he didn't pick up a lot of wickets in that T20 tournament, but he also used himself differently. He gave other guys more opportunity. So maybe I'm reading too much into that. But
I mean,
yeah,
he's
so
been running in,
I
and in 4-day cricket, he's been running in and bowling a lot of overs in 4 days. So
yeah,
I
no,
think,
he looks good. He looks good. But Riley looked above the rest of the batsmen in the T20 knockout. He really looked head and shoulders above the other batsmen. Just the way he attacked everyone, no fear going out there. That's the kind of, I think I talked to Abai today, and I told him that seeing as he does want to play for the Proteas again, it'll be more about how will he fit into the team environment.
And
Because
whose place does he take?
I can
Because
see him
because
fit.
our top order is very wide. like this will be honest, our
Yeah,
batting lineup's very wide. So
yeah,
it's not about a colored player or a black player keeping him out. You'll have to replace another white player most likely. So either Rassie, Aiden, maybe Temba Bavuma. You can look at Temba, but Temba has a different role to Rilee Rossouw. So my
yeah.
point is like
I
when
was
people are
I
like,
was thinking more in the line of maybe replacing Riza, making Bavuma. If we're just referring to the T20s, having Riza is a good batsman, but he doesn't really fit the balance. What we need is that middle order hitter lower down the order. So if we can get Bavuma to go open again and then have Rassie 3, Markram 4, then you can have Rossouw in that middle order to combine with Miller. In T20s, that can be quite destructive.
you know, he can replace. You're
And
smiling because you know you're smiling because you know what I was gonna say.
yeah.
It's
No,
possible.
agreed. If we then pick a different backup wicketkeeper, because we probably still travel with backup wicketkeeper, because you
Carl
can't
should
just
be in every single squad. I want to see Carl's name in every squad.
probably. But that's just my thought on Rilee. It will be more about the team environment. Will everybody be fine with him coming in? Those guys that are still there from the time he left, how are they feeling about it? Are they, if the team environment is fine with it and he gels in nicely with the squad, and the selectors are happy to bring him back, I think it will definitely add in terms of our batting power and the experience. All the T20 leagues he has batted in. He's gained a lot of experience. I've read about Donald talking about how much he helped the youngsters at the Knights, the information he was able to carry over. Now he's playing, I think, in the Abu Dhabi T20 and Faf du Plessis is playing there. These guys are gaining so much different types of experience. It's not really a tournament that I follow, but it's something different again, and that's the type of thing you definitely. I mean, in T20s already we're saying you need to hit the ground running, but in T10s that's literally no time. So you have to go out and smash the ball, and someone who's able to do that can come into that middle order and do that type of role.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it as long as it gels into the environment.
It's hard on players like Ryan Rickleton and Renan van Tonta and the next crop of players who are putting in the performances. And I think that the challenge will be that they wouldn't want the next crop of players, because Rilee, even if he comes in, is going to have a couple of years at most. Not that I want to be ageist, but he'll have a couple of years at most. And I don't know if the management would want to risk bringing Rilee in and potentially losing the next crop of players who could be playing for another 10, 12, 15 years.
It's a good point. A good point to end off with. Thanks a lot, guys, for everybody for tuning in. Thanks a lot, Verna. Thanks a lot, Aditya, for coming on the show. We've got a special show for you tomorrow. We bring on a special guest to join us on the Q&A show. So you guys get an opportunity to ask questions to the S19 captain. So he's going to be coming on our show tomorrow, and you guys will be able to ask all the questions that you want in the live chat to him. So bring your super chats. Please bring your super chats. Please bring your questions tomorrow to the show and come ask him some questions on the daily show Q&A. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening.